Alright, welcome everybody to Zenith Online Racing EU tier. This is the Austrian Grand Prix. I am your commentator Zyg, as always. Back for another exciting race. So, around the shortest lap time track on the calendar today at Austria. We're going to get all of our stuff set up. It looks like one of the alphas is first on track. California next. Pretty full grid today, 17 drivers, so should be a good race. Austria, as we saw in Tier 1 on Monday, is a track that can produce some wet weather racing. Tier 1 had a full race on the intermediate tires on Monday, so look out for that. Looks like we'll have dry qualifying though, so a lot of drivers choosing to go out on the softs so far. Some drivers starting their first lap on the mediums. You can do 4 runs here. It's such a short track, only a little over a minute, so you can do excuse me. You can do 4 runs in qualifying pretty easily if you're not getting tripped over your teammate as you're going in and out of the pits. But so we'll probably see a lot of drivers taking all 3 runs on the soft tires, maybe even 4 if they brought 4 sets into qualifying. But California looks like he's one of the first to be setting a flying lap, so we'll follow on board with him. He's braking now for turn 3, even though it really is turn 2. It's technically turn 3. Very tricky traction zone out of turn 3 as you come down the second DRS straight. Braking for turn 4, very easy to lock up here on the inside. Looks like he does well to avoid locking up. Gotta be careful not to run out wide there as well. You can get spun really easily if you hit the grass at all there. Looks pretty good through 6 and 7. Take a little bit more curve there on the right, but pretty tidy so far. And this last corner so tricky, easy to invalidate if you go right. As we have a couple, yeah, we have, that's, I don't know how to pronounce that driver's name in P2, but Heron, I think. Zuidema goes P1 for 103.2, Heron 103.3, California 103.7, Puppet Master 103.8, Miami snuck in there with a 103.4, so lots of times in the low 103s. That's where we about would expect these drivers to be. You can sneak into the 2s if you put in a really, really good lap, but anybody who sets a time in the low 3s will be pretty happy with that, as looks like Beck sets a lap. Barton now coming through turn 4. We'll follow on with him. But yeah, you can get into the 2s if you set a very, very competitive lap. Like I said, a lot of drivers will be targeting those low 3s. Ooh, almost invalidated there on the right, but it is kind of Austria kind of has that problem that Monaco can have sometimes because it's such a short lap, as Barton invalidates at the last corner on what would have been a 103.6, so that would have been good enough for P4 for Barton. What can happen is if you are have a pretty full grid like we do today with 17 drivers, because it's such a short lap, you can get trip over drivers around you pretty easily. You get caught up with people who are on in-laps and out-laps and everything, so gotta watch out for a little bit of traffic here. Seen some yellow flags so far of drivers slowing down. Fuzz looks like he's abandoned his lap. He's turned his ERS down. Bag of Bones looks like he's going through. It shows purple. You can't always rely on those sector splits, though. Most of the drivers, or all of them in the top 5. Oh, Puppet Master said his time on the mediums. I didn't see that. That's a good time from him on the mediums as Bag of Bones goes around. So as I was saying, turn 4, you got to be careful not to get on the grass, because that will happen to you. If you just touch that little bit of grass there, it'll send you right around, as we saw for Bag of Bones. So Jay Gray's in the pits. He invalidated. Janet's back in the pits. See if anybody's on a flyer right now. Adri's invalidated. RC looks like he's depleted his battery. So yeah, most drivers look like they've got their first time set so far. Let's make sure we get the... so yeah, everybody now who's going out for their second runs is on softs, so that's what we would expect to see from drivers. Strategy for this race, pretty simple to do a soft medium. Everybody outside the top 10, I would guess, would be starting on the mediums and running the medium soft. The hards will last quite a while around here. They're just pretty slow. So really the tire you want to be on in the race is the mediums. The softs will hold up pretty well though. Early safety car, you can stretch the hards, I believe, for... You could make it the whole race distance, but it would be quite the struggle. So I imagine we'll see a lot of soft medium and medium soft strategy, unless we get some safety cars or weather to shake that up. But for the most part, soft medium. Drivers we want to be on the softs and qualifying, and then maximize that time on the mediums for the race. We'll follow along with our provisional pole sitter Zwidemer as he starts his second lap. He's got one of the Mercedes behind him. I don't know if that's Zimaglis or... yeah, it's Zimaglis. So he's going to... Zimaglis will get a nice little tow here if he's on a flying lap. Zwidemer's found about half a tenth, just under, through the first sector. Really the time you find in the first sector is all through turn 1 and then braking for turn 3, so there's not a lot in that third sector. The second sector can be a little bit trickier as he locks up his right front, braking for turn 4, switching back to the right. It's pretty tidy through there. See what he's able to do. His final 2 corners going down to 6th. And 4th for the final. Ooh, he ran very wide there, and he is invalid. So let's see what his time would have been. It would have been an improvement of just under a tenth of a second, about 600ths. So Zimaglis, who had the benefit of following him through, getting a little bit of that time. He goes a 1:03.6. Let's see Beck finishing up his lap now. We'll see if he can do anything. Puppet Master goes into the 102s with a 102.998, so a fantastic lap from him. He's going to be really pleased with that. His first lap he set was on the mediums, and so he's gone even faster now that he switched over to the softs. So good job from him. The margins around here, as Fuzz sets a 1:03.5, the margins around here will be even finer than they are normally. I think that was Jay Gray who set that last time, as he goes into the 1:03s as well, 1:03.8. Because this is such a short lap, the margins between drivers are going to be even narrower than they would normally. So let's see if we got anybody. J. Cole's finishing up a lap. Just about keeps it in track limits. And he goes a 1:03.1, so he's still just a little, about 0.12 seconds away. As we have a Mercedes, a Racing Point. Looks like it's Barton who spun at turn 1. So a tough day for the Racing Point so far. Each driver, I believe now, taking a spin. Let's see what Larkin's able to do on his medium tires. It's pretty smooth here through the second sector. Joined late, I saw, so he's just trying to keep everything. He's doing a little bit of catch-up, trying to find his rhythm a little bit after the rest of the drivers. Very close to invalidating there. At least from that angle, it looks like. Goes into the 1:03s, 1:03.7 on the medium tire, so a very competitive lap time. He's still got the benefit of running the softs later, so a lot of these drivers now coming out for what I believe is their 3rd run. Like I said, you can get 4 if you are pretty speedy around here. Let's see if Puppet Master will follow. Keep an eye on Puppet Master and Zwidemer as they're both on outlaps. Same with Zimaglis. So we got a couple of those drivers in the top 7. Drivers outside the top 7. Zenith still needs to set a time. Looks like he must have a spin on his and then both of the racing points as well. Yeah, as you can see, besides maybe 1 or 2 drivers, most of the field is separated by about a second and a half. So it's a very, very short track, and 1/10 here or there, half a tenth here and there, can make the difference of a couple of rows on the grid. I believe 11 corners, if I'm not mistaken, and each one of them is super important. So Puppet Master will see if he's able to improve at all. Like I said, keep an eye on Zwiedema and Zamagas, as they are going to be starting some laps as well. But so far so good through turn 1. Got out just ahead of one of those racing points who's also who's on that lap. He's not able to improve. He's about 0.03 of a second slower so far on this lap. Still 2 sectors for him to find any more time. Well, he's found 0.06 as he's now improved. So he was slower by 0.03 and now he's faster by 0.03. So good job from him. Let's see if he's able to find anything through the final couple of corners. Throwing it in, going really wide on exit, as you have to maximize time. Found a lot of time in the 3rd sector as he goes 0.2 faster. So Mod was set a 1:03.3, so he found a few tenths as well. I thought Jake was, he looks like he must have just been the last of these runners, as he's starting to fly a lap right now. So he needs about 0.4 of a second, about, well, closer to 3.5 tenths if he wants to get ahead of Puppet Master. He's found about 1/4 of a tenth so far. We'll see if he's able to find some time through the second 2 sectors. 1:02.7 is a very competitive lap, though. It's going to be very tricky to beat that, especially after he has a little bit of a lock up there into turn 4. Switching to the right for turn 6. Looks pretty tidy. We'll see his sector split. He's found another about 1.5. Ooh, very wide, and he's invalidated. I would be surprised to see him just dive into the pits now. Yep, as he's turned on the ERS. Looks like that's what he's going to do. But he had a good lap so far. He was on track to be in the 102s. So I'll have to keep an eye on him. Miami now in P3, seeing if he can improve and break through into that front row. Larkin's still only on those medium tires, so see if he decides to set a lap time. Miami improves by about 1/10. That won't be enough to be on the front row yet. We'll see if he's able to find time in the 3rd sector. Going really wide on entry to the penultimate corner. See how greedy he's going to be. Ooh, just about. Keeps it in. He does improve, not by much though. He's still on the 2nd row, so he'll be pleased with that, but that's about it. Larkin looks like he's just been doing laps on those mediums, trying to get his eye in. He might go here at the end of the session. See what Zenith's able to do. He's not had a competitive time yet. Let's see if he's able to remedy that now. Fuzz, just keeping a look at the top 10. Looks like Fuzz, JX, both on outlaps. We have to follow along as Zenith validates a T1, so that's not going to help his qualifying at all, as now he's going to have to have that difficult decision of staying out on those tires or trying to pit and replace those tires. See what Fuzz is. Fuzz is able to come back, so we'll follow along with him after we see what JX is able to do. Turn 1 looks pretty tight. He just gets out of the McLaren, ahead of the McLaren of Adri. It's got about a 10th and a half so far. Just that improvement's going to be enough to move him up into the top 10. As fine as the margins are here, just that 10th and a half for one sector could net him 2 or 3 rows. So see if he's able to find more time. As J. Cole has also come out on an outlap, as has Puppet Master, and most of the top 10 with the exception of Miami. So we'll keep an eye on their times as well. We'll jump back to Fuzz once we see what JX is able to do. One of the Mercedes, I think Janet moving out of the way. He must not be happy with his time, as he's diving into the pits, must think that he's got time for one more lap. Fuzz is invalidated. Adri's coming up to start a lap. Marvelous, looks like he's, well, I was going to say he's one of the first to be setting a time here on these final set of runs. So as Videma's just starting his lap, Jake looks like he invalidated maybe his previous lap, so I don't know what he's going to do. Doesn't look like he's going to be pushing to get around again, but he's giving his teammate a tow. So J. Cole just giving Zvidema a lovely tow between turns 1 and turn 3, trying to help him find that last little bit of time. Big lock up there into turn 4. It's so easy as you're trying to brake late and get the car rotated to lock up there. Pretty tight. He's found almost a full 10th. That should be, it's going to be really close to see if he's able to find time. Right now, he would just be slightly ahead of Miami. He's got to keep it together through this third sector. Looks pretty good. Just about. That's it. Not able to improve past Miami, so he's stuck where he is at the moment. Puppet Master looks like he's abandoned his lap. J. Cole looks like he is getting the tow now from his teammate. Looks like he crossed with just enough time. So some lovely slipstream coordination there from the Williams. As they're able to help each other on these final runs. So Moglis is invalidated. A lot of invalidation so far. Adri, yep, just as I say that, an invalidation and a spin. So let's see if J. Cole's able to find anything. He's in Sector 2 right now, going wide a little bit through turn 6. Says he's purple. He's a quarter of a tenth down. It's not going to be enough time to get ahead of Puppet Master unless he puts in a mammoth third sector. So we'll have to wait and see. Looks like he will be pretty comfortable on his second row of the grid. Can he take pole? Nope, as he spins and takes a big moment there through the final corner as he's pushing very hard, leaving it all on the line. Adri's in the gravel. California's invalidated. Bag of Bones looks like he's... Nope, he's got the checkered flag, so he's done as well. So it looks like that is our grid set. So no one could touch that one. No one else besides Puppet Master, could break into the 102s. Puppet Master, our pole sitter, with a 102.7. So a very, very good lap from him. I'm looking down the rest of the field, though. Excel J. Cole in second. I'll have to take a look at the rest of the grid in just a moment. But pretty exciting qualifying. Lots of invalidations, especially at the final corner. A lot of people running wide there, as is to be expected. But Puppet Master is on pole, the 102.7. Then looking down the rest of the order, we got J. Cole, Miami, Zvidema in P4, Zamoglis, Heron, Adri, Fuzz, California 5, Bag of Bones, Larkin, J. Gray, JXW, Beck, RC7, Jinnit, and Barton rounding out the grid today. And the top 14 drivers separated by just over a second. Very, very tight and competitive field today. So hopefully we get a dry race and get some good, clean racing. But yeah, as I said, as As we had in Tier 1 on Monday, some wet weather can affect these races, so you just gotta keep an eye out. It's a track that, if it is dry, DRS is king here. If you can stay within someone's DRS, you are in a good position to... just checking the chat here for a minute, but yeah, if you're able to stick in DRS, you got a good chance of saving some battery and everything, as the DRS is very, very powerful. You don't even really have to be faster than the car in front. The pace difference can be pretty large to stay in DRS. Just seeing if anybody has posted about the... should talk about how Fuzz outqualified Larkin. Good job, Fuzz. I do think Larkin was on, his time was on the mediums, but yeah, still. But yeah, if you can stay in DRS here, it's very, very powerful. I expect we'll see some DRS transforms if it's dry. And yeah, if you're able to stay in DRS, you can save a lot of battery and a lot of fuel, save your tires a little bit as well. So these first couple laps, especially for Puppet Master, are going to be really important to break away from the Williams in Miami. Because if he can clear that second gap, he's got a really good chance of sailing off into the distance. But if any of them are able to stay in DRS, it's going to be a pretty long race. Best overtaking spots, I think, are up into turn 2. Or turn 3, excuse me. Technically turn 3. For these modern Formula 1 cars, it's really turn 2. But that breaking into turn 4, you can just about, if you get a really good run on someone out of the hairpin, there's that other DRS zone to help. But other than turn 3 and 4, there's really not that many other places to overtake here, maybe with the exception of turn 1 if you get a really good run on someone. But all 3 of those DRS straights going to be helping into those, really the only 3 overtaking zones here. So going to have to be looking out for that. Very fast formation lap here. Just give me time to get the telemetry and everything turned on. But yeah, we'll see. These first couple laps will be crucial, especially that it's a dry race. DRS here could spell disaster for Puppet Master if everybody else is able to stay in DRS behind him. But we will just have to wait and see. As the grid is forming up behind them, we'll have a really good view of the run into turn 1. The sun will be pretty tricky to spot your braking zone into turn 1, so hopefully we can avoid any drama in any early safety cars. But it is going to be Puppet Master to lead, as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights on. They're off and away we go. It looks like a clean start from everybody. One of them, McLaren's getting a slow start. JX has already been passed here. Puppet Master gets a very clean run. Miami holds on to P3 just barely ahead as we demo. It looks like Adri was the McLaren there that had a poor start. And excuse me, it was California, the Haas, who had a very good start. Miami pulled out, thought about making a move further down. The Ferrari. Ooh, as we have a big incident with a Mercedes and lots of front wing pieces. That surely is going to be a safety car, as we've got front wing all over the track. Looks like Heron has lost some positions. Fuzz has lost some positions. Jinnit has gained and now is losing some positions. As we have another Mercedes of Zamoglis off in the gravel of turn 4. Dreadful start from the Mercedes. Zamoglis losing a lot of positions. Fuzz losing a handful. Heron losing a handful. And we're not out of the woods yet here at Mach 1. Lots of front wing pieces. I'm surprised we didn't see a safety car, but we have all 17 runners still. I imagine we'll see some people diving into the pits here. Looks like one of the Hasses in California. That's a shame. He had such a great start and got somebody off the line. Up in the front, Puppet Master has pulled a gap of about 8/10. I'll have to excuse the timing glitch here. It is Puppet Master out in front. So so much close racing here down the field. As JX looking to go around the outside of turn 2. Ooh, just leaves enough space. Ooh, he squeezed a little bit on exit there. J. Gray pulling his best Charles Leclerc impression on the exit of turn 3. Let's see if Heron's able to get him down into turn 4. Just going around the outside. Once again, gives J. Gray giving him the big squeeze there. The front 4 have really pulled away. All of this battling, all of these incidents have allowed those front 4 to really pull away, and they are 3 seconds clear of Adri, who's in P5 at the moment. It looks like further down, California's Amongles and Barton all having to pit for new wings. Let's check and see what tires they went on. 2 of them opting for the softs and Amongles opting for the medium, so I'm not sure what they're hoping for. Maybe they thought a safety car might come, but we'll have to wait and see. We got some action happening here. Jinnit, Oz, and Beck all battling for P10. He's now just starting to settle down on lap 3. It was a really frantic first couple laps. Who's this lap 2? Can't kind of tell with that glitch, but yeah, there's been a lot to watch, a lot to look at so far. Said this front 4 really starting to pull away as we've got some close battles happening here down the field. But up at the front, it is Puppet Master's J. Gray's picked up a time penalty already. Not quite clear of that DRS zone, so that's something to be on the lookout for. All 4 of those, or I guess positions 2 through 4 all have DRS off of the car in front, so that DRS train at the front could be there for a while. I think Puppet Master's best chance to break that. Oh, there's a lock up in the turn 4 from Jacob. I think Puppet Master's best chance to break that might have been those first couple laps, but Jacob is just about able to hang on. About 7/10, we don't have getting close. A gap of about 6/7 is about what you'll see following the DRS. It's very hard to get within that half a second, but between that half a second and that 9/10, if you're on a relatively similar pace to the car in front, you can stay in that DRS without too much trouble. Further down the field, we've got some tight racing here. J. Gray, Jinnit, and JXW as JXW has also picked up a time penalty. The drivers on some medium tires and some hard compound tires. Ooh, as J. Gray goes in very deep there, almost runs into the back of Jinnit. It's hard to tell from that angle as JX going slowly, it looks like. Not sure what happened with him, but J. Gray and Jinnit now going side by side. J. Gray gets that move done. Man on a mission today. Up in the front, Puppet Master has just extended that gap over 1 second. Very close. We'll see if he's able to get DRS. If Jacob has DRS here, no, he doesn't have it open down the start-finish straight. So we'll see if he's still just barely. Guess we'll see where he crossed the detection point, but doesn't have it between turns 1 and turn 3. So Puppet Master might have just seized an opportunity now to extend this gap. It's 1.3 seconds now. J. Cole needs to push if he wants to get that back within 1 second. Puppet Master still has about 40% of his battery left, so could push, even though J. Cole's down a little bit. We've got some more battling between Jinnit and J. Gray. Jinnit gets that position back into turn 3. Let's see if J. Gray fights back into turn 4. Got DRS open, no overtake button used. Looks like he might just be battling this time with Jinnit. bit of a lockup there. Let's get this changed and see what tires everybody's working with. Larkin, the first of those medium runners. Everybody else in the top 10 on the softs. Everybody outside the top 10 who has not pitted. And medium tires with the exception of JX. And then those drivers who did pit on lap 1. California and Barton choosing to go onto the softs. So JV picks up another time penalty. He's going to be careful. Only on lap 7 here. So we got 6 seconds. As we've got some positions being swapped up at the front. Swedema got by Miami to take P3, so he moves up into the podium positions. As further down Beck and Heron going side by side. See if he's tries him back into turn 4. Not enough, so Swedema was able to get by Miami. It looked like that was into turn 3. So Williams running P2 and P3 at the moment, so a good job from them. Puppet Master up at the front has extended that gap to about 1.6 seconds, so he now will start to feel pretty comfortable about his pace, and is just going to be hoping that he can keep that gap over 1 second. He's going to have to think about covering off the undercut from the Williams behind. If the Williams are going to play the team game, might have one of those drivers try the undercut just to see, because that gap about 1.8 seconds. The mediums will last pretty well here, so I would not be surprised to see one of them go for the undercut to maybe force Puppet Master to pit as well. Looks like Swedema's the man with the pace at the moment, as he had set the fastest lap previously, and he's all over the gearbox of J. Cole in P2 at the moment. Ooh, a little bit sideways there, out of turn 6. The gap is now about 2 seconds, so if they are wanting to make a move with that undercut, that's going to be something they need to be discussing, and J. Cole picks up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That's going to cost him quite a bit, I would imagine, in this race. As we talked about, those time differences on qualifying are so small, as Beck picks up a time penalty. And that 3-second time penalty, as we've seen in the EU tier before, can be really powerful, or can be really strong as well. It looks like one of the Mercedes of Zenith, so I'm not sure what happened to him. But we'll see. Can't tell from this angle, and I'm not giving you a great angle otherwise. Looks like he's got an end plate missing. Looks like his right end plate missing. Beck and Heron going side by side. And now Fuzz going up the inside into turn 4. Walk-ups all the way. Ooh, you gotta be careful on that grass. Fuzz is able to get P9, so good job from him. Let's see if he's able to hunt down Beck ahead. So this is the closest battle we got right now. J. Cole is still on the back as we demo, so we need to monitor that as well. They have pulled a gap from Miami a little bit, so Miami not on the podium right now, but he's still got a gap of about 5 seconds to Larkin behind, who is on the medium, so you got to watch out for Larkin in this race as well. Lap 10 is probably about the earliest I would consider pitting for a one-stop, as Barton picks up a time penalty. We'll see if any of these drivers want to take a risk with an early pit stop or not. As Zenith decided to fix that front wing, as Beck's going up the inside. Is he getting that move done? We'll have to wait and see. He's not going to have DRS, but Bag of Bones is Bag of Bones. Going around the outside lockup. Might invite Beck back in. Looks like we've got Barton, who's going slow through Sector 1. He's stopped, so I'm not sure what's going on with him. Oh, just struggling to get back on track at the moment. Got to be careful that he doesn't get in somebody's way. Looks like he's back and going at the moment. As Puppet Master is sailing out in front, that gap about 2 seconds. As Barton has gone and lost his entire front wing now, down that straight, which has brought out a safety car. So I imagine we'll see a lot of action in the pits as that safety car has come out on lap 11. Medium tires should just about be able to make it, I would think. You'll have that benefit of the safety car laps, but for pretty much everyone in this race, I would expect pit stops. Zamoglis choosing to come into the pits already. I imagine he'll fit on another set of mediums, maybe some hards. Looks like he's going hard compound tires. I imagine we'll see almost everybody in the field come into the pits here. Barton's struggling to get back around with that front wing. This is going to neutralize that advantage that Puppet Master had. He still should be able to pit and come out in the lead. Surprised to see both of the Williams coming in. They're going to have a double stack that could cost J. Cole quite a lot. As Puppet Master gets held, let's see how well they're able to pull off the double stack. The double stack notorious in this game for being very slow for the second driver, as we see J. Cole just sitting. He's lost out to Miami. He's lost a position in this Grand Prix. Almost lost two. He almost lost one to Adri. RC and J. Gray, who did pit on lap 1, it looks like, chosen to stay out on their mediums. I'm a little bit surprised to see them not pit the mediums and hards. We've got a split strategy up at the front with Miami and Puppet Master choosing to go into the hards. Zuidema and J. Cole choosing to go into the mediums. So that could come back and be a factor in this race towards the end, as those medium tires might just be struggling those last few laps, and Puppet Master Miami will be a little more comfortable with theirs. See that down the field as well, kind of a mix of drivers between the mediums and the hards. This is just on that overlap spot. Knowing that you'll have a few laps around the safety car, maybe you think that'll make the mediums a little bit more likely, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those tire choices affect the race later, not just at the front, but all down the field. As the McLaren's splitting, Adler choosing to go on the mediums, Fuzz going on the hards. Beck, Heron, both on the mediums, Bradley Bones also going on to the hards. What this does do is for Zamoglis and Jinnit, the Mercedes and California, who had to make those early pit stops, for those drivers who had to make the early pits, it does just bring them right back into this race. It means that if there's another safety car or VSC or another big incident, as we saw on lap 1, once the safety car restarts, they can be right back up there in the points. So this definitely brings those drivers back into contention. And up at the front, it's compromised J. Cole quite a bit, so that double stack from the Williams hurts J. Cole quite a lot, as he's lost not only the position in the race to Miami, but he's lost positions to RC and to J. Gray, who are on 12-lap old mediums. So hopefully with the help of DRS after a few laps, he's able to get by them quickly, but that's really compromised his ability to finish on the podium today. He's going to have to really be confident in those overtakes once we get going again. Such a difficult thing when you're close to your teammate like that and the safety car comes out, because you don't really want to stay out, because you know that'll put you right back down at the back of the field. But also the double stack loses you so much time. That second pit stop's just so much slower. So just unfortunate timing for J. Cole in the safety car, because he was kind of left with just two bad options. Of either pitting and double stacking and losing some positions as he did, or if he had to stay out, he probably would have lost a position as well. So tough decision. I'm sure it'll be one that, depending on how the race goes, he's either going to be really happy he chose to put them or kicking himself if he has trouble getting by here. So just have to see. Up at the front, Puppet Master will be pretty comfortable with his position, I would imagine. It'll be important once again here for him to break that DRS. It's going to be a little bit harder because Wiedema does have that medium tire advantage over the hards, so it will be tricky. But if he's able to break that DRS, he's going to have those really durable hard tires. Safety car coming in this lap. If he's able to break that DRS, he's going to have those really durable hard tires to just kind of pull away from the field. But a lot of excitement still to come in the remaining 22 laps. See when Puppet Master decides to accelerate and get this race going again. And there he goes. Right at the beginning of the penultimate corner. And we are green again. Puppet Master gets a pretty good start. Looking down the field, gaps are pretty good. Miami has picked up a 3-second time penalty, so that can come back to bite him as well. Let's see, J. Cole already dispatched one of the, well, let's say back markers, but one of those drivers who still needs to pit. Adri's going up the inside as well, so RC struggling on those older hard tires, or older medium tires, excuse me. Unsurprisingly, he's fighting back here. Using some ERS. Let's see if he's going to dive it up the inside. He does. Oh, he goes really deep there. Yep. Always looked like he was going in a little bit too late. Let's see. Jake was able to dispatch Jay Grays quickly, as he did RC, who's now dropped to the back of the field, unfortunately. You can see just the difference in grip there through the final corner. He's going to have him in turn one. Doesn't even need to use just a little bit of overtake right here at the very end, but a little bit of a knock-up. Is Jay Gray going to battle back here? Got a good run on him. He's going to go up the inside. But J. Cole just has that better grip. He's able to go around the outside that much easier. And you can see the traction difference there. He's just able to pull away. Larkin going down the inside. He chose hard tires. Ooh! He and Adri touched just a little bit, and now Adri sitting right behind in the slipstream. JX and Bag of Bones is able to get that move done coming out of turn 5. Pretty well. A little bit too much curve there for JX. That's going to unsettle the car a little bit. He's recovered pretty well. DRS is enabled, so JX might think he just might be able to get Bag of Bones back. Up into turn 3. Beck has DRS, but just doesn't get the exit. He's going to try and outbrake, and he does. He holds on to that position well, but I don't think he's going to have DRS for the second straight, and he does. Surprise once again. He's going to take the inside line, force Aaron the long way around the outside. Tries the over and under, but Beck just does a good job. Put his car exactly where he needed to. Took the inside line. Did well to hold it on the apex. Perfectly clean from Beck. And he keeps 8th position, so some great racing. The safety car, as it always does, just bunches that field back up perfectly and provides some really good racing. So up in the front, Puppet Master not able to quite pull that second gap yet. Adri has picked up, I believe that's his second time penalty if I'm not mistaken, but we can wait till the end for that. yellow flag in Sector 1, and Adri is out of the session, so, ooh, looks like he's spun. And a VSC, so, yeah, it looks like Adri just must have spun coming out of turn 1 and went back across the track, so, curious incident, but glad to see it's just a VSC. We don't need another full safety car right now. Although I'm sure for Jay Gray that would have been appreciated. And we're back, so thankfully the VSC was short-lived there, not even a full lap for our drivers up in front. Market all over the back of Jay Gray. Gonna have DRS. JX picks up a time penalty. Time penalties, overtakes, DRS. It's all kicking off. It's been a fantastic race so far. Larkin almost gets him by. We have a yellow flag through Sector 1. Don't know what's happening. Looks like J. Cole has lost time and maybe his front wing. He's going very slowly. Almost takes out the Haas drivers. So don't know what happened, but J. Cole, who was on for a podium or at least in podium contention, now has lost a lot of his front wing. He's almost cleared out of the back of the field. Don't know what happened with him. Maybe spun, maybe ran into the back of somebody. I'm not sure. We'll have to see that after the race, as we're still following along with Beck and Jay Gray side by side. Jay Gray just backs out of that. Smart from him. He's able to stay in DRS, hopefully. And work to fight another day, but up at the front, Swedema is still in the DRS of Puppet Master. Gap is about half a second where we see it often as Jay Gray's lost a position now. So Heron sneaks up his inside into the penultimate corner and then loses a little bit on traction out of the final corner. Is JK going to try it back up into turn 1? He is not. Thought about it, got very close. He's going to try into turn 3, but he doesn't get a very good exit. He'll have the advantage of DRS and slipstream, which is pretty powerful here. He gets that moved on. Bag of Bones. Looks like he's just lost a position to Jinnit. Aaron might battle back here. It's about DRS. Jago using up all of his overtake. Is Aaron going to go up the inside? No. Just lives to fight another day. Goes right up on the gearbox. Jago gets a little wide through turn 4. And he... Oh, they're going side by side. They touch. Jay Gray just made contact and almost then takes out Fuzz. And he spun into the wall. He's lost his front wing. So just all that pressure from such tight racing caused him to spin. I don't think Fuzz made any contact there. I think that was just a good old-fashioned spin. He's going to have to pit for a new front wing. J. Cole has gone onto the soft tires, so maybe thinking that he can stretch the softs to the end. Thinking about it, I know he has another set of mediums, because unless he took all 4 sets of softs in the qualifying, I don't remember, but he also, Jay Gray, frustration from that spin, he hadn't pitted yet. He did pick up a time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. But he is serving now, so all sorts of action in this race up at the front. We totally missed the overtake for the lead as Swedema has gotten by Puppet Master. Puppet Master still in the DRS, although we need to watch this battle down as we got so caught up with such tight racing down the field that we totally forgot, or totally missed this overtake for the lead and what could be the race victory. So we'll have to follow along here for a little while. Looks like Puppet Master's got his front wing and everything intact, so it might have just been an overtake because of those softer tires from Swedema. As long as Puppet Master is able to stay in the DRS, I think he's still probably got to be liking his chances of an overtake for victory here. He does have quite a bit of his ERS. Looks like Swedema has used a little bit more of his trying to get in front and then break that DRS. Puppet Master doesn't seem to be too phased about it. This is what I was mentioning about the DRS. It's so powerful here with those 3 DRS zones that the Puppet Master, he can just if he's comfortable through the second and third sector, he doesn't have to use much overtake. He doesn't have to use much fuel in order to stay close. As we've got a battle between JX and Zenith, so we'll make sure we come back in just a minute. But Will 5 is in sector 2 and 3 of VSC as Beck has retired. So looks like he's spun. He's on the left there. We'll cycle back a little bit. You can see him on the left here. Looks like he's just spun through turns 6 and 7. You can if you get wide on the grass through turn 6. As J. Cole now is coming through this right-hand kink, which is turn 5. It's about as much of a turn as turn 2 is. But here, this left of turn 6, if you get out on the gravel or the little strip of grass there on the right, it can send you around pretty quickly. As we have Jinnit coming into the pits for softs, J. Cole, RC on the softs, J. Gray on the softs. So some of these runners down at the back going into the softs for the remainder of this race. Could be a threat moving up the field. Up at the front, we've got the race going again. Let's give Zwiedema just a chance to save a tiny bit of his ERS, but he's still using quite a bit of it. Puppet Master almost has a full battery, so like I said, just goes to show the DRS here. Even though Zwiedema's on softer tires, you've got to be so much faster than someone through sector 2 and 3 to break that DRS, because almost all of sector 1, especially if you haven't done a start-finish straight, so much of it is a DRS zone. Yeah, I mean, he's not using any DRS, and you can see, or any of his overtake, excuse me, and you can see just because of the DRS how close he's able to get. So Puppet Master probably just going to bide his time a little bit and let Zwiedema punch a hole in the air for a while as he saves up some ERS and fuel. And then I imagine he will launch an overtake and then put in some push for a few laps, put in some flying lap times and try to extend that gap. Miami, meanwhile, in P3 has got a pretty comfortable gap to Larkin behind, who's on the hard tires. Remember, Larkin started on the medium, so during that safety car, he had to pit for the hards. He could have chosen to stay out, but he chose to box, which I think was the right choice, and because of that, he's got to use those two tire compounds how to go to the hards. Puppet Master just getting closer and closer with each lap. He's got his overtake used now, so maybe this is the lap that we see him launch. He's going to go down the inside. Ooh, he goes in very deep. Very deep there. Zwiedema had a lockup and had to run just wide. And tough to see from that angle, but looks clean from what I could see. Hopefully we can say the same about this move between Fuzz and Heron. Into turn 4. Lockups from both drivers. Fuzz on the hard tires just not able to stay in front. But Puppet Master has regained the lead here. Thankfully, we were on board and able to see his overtake for the lead again. Apologies for missing the initial overtake for the lead. Not happening in this race, but Puppet Master now has almost extended that gap. So as I anticipated, he's saved up that ERS and is now trying to break that 1 second gap, which you have to think if he does break that 1 second gap, Miami's a long way back. Doesn't seem like he's had quite the same pace as Puppet Master in the race so far. But if Puppet Master is able to break this 1 second gap, he's going to be really liking his chances for victory with about 10 laps to go. Rotates the car well through turn 4. Hard tires seem to be working for him. Further down the field, we have Jay Gray, who has retired. Looks like he's done so in the pits. So hopefully we don't see any safety car unless we pull up. We lost 4 drivers so far: Barton, Adri, Beck, and Jager. Had 1 safety car, 2 VSCs, a lot of penalties, and even more overtakes. Zudema has just stayed in that DRS. It's about half a second. This is the second closest gap. We've got Larkin all over the back of Miami for that P3 final podium position. Not using the overtake, you can see our 2 leading drivers just up ahead. Buzz with a big lock up into turn 4. He's able to get that position. Denver has just closed that half a second gap. Might he make a move here? He's going to go down the inside. Puppet Master lets him go. Looks like he, just kind of let that move happen. Didn't fight it too much. Zudema with a big overtake. That came out of nowhere. That gap was just over half a second for a while, and then out of the blue, Zudema must have just used a lot of his overtake in the advantage of the DRS, and he's regained the lead. So we're back and forth up front between Excel Zudema and Puppet Master. For this race victory, we'll see if Puppet Master is able to get him back again. He still has 50% of his battery, and Zudema has a lot lower. So as we've seen before in this race, Puppet Master might just sit back, bide his time, let Zudema take out the best laps of his medium tires. We'll try and fight back later. Ooh, Miami. I don't know if there was contact there, but he went in deep. Didn't look like he could get the car turned in for turn 3 there. And Larkin's taking P3. Further down we have Zamaglis getting by Bag of Bones. Jinnett's going to be right on the back of this battle, maybe even down into turn 4. This Bag of Bones gets a little bit of a wobbly exit, and Jinnett now all over the back using overtake, using DRS. Lock up there from Bag of Bones, and Jinnett just gives him a little bit of a squeeze there. He was ahead and just made sure he was able to stay ahead. Jekyll has battled back well from his front wing loss in the pit stop. He's in 11th. I think he's probably going to stay 11th. Unfortunately, that gap, that 9 seconds, is a lot to make up. Dema out in front though. Puppet Master, as we saw earlier, he's got almost double the ERS, as looks like JXW has made a mistake into the final corner and it just cost him his race, as we have a full safety car. Oh boy, so a full safety car here with 6 laps to go. Oof. Only 12 drivers. This could be anybody's race now. Who will pit? Who will stay out? Excel Zudema's in the lead. Imagine the top 4 with the gap that they have. I would say you've got to pit for softs. The advantage of fresh softs is just that strong, but no. Larkin opting to take that risk, as is Miami, so we'll see if that pulls off. But they've got such a large gap to 5th place that could come back and cost Zudema and Puppet Master. Aaron deciding to pit, Buzz deciding to stay out on his hard tires, so he's maybe hoping that he can maybe take a run at a podium if he's able to get out ahead of these other two drivers. He's using overtake. He's pushing to try and get out ahead. As further down, we see Zenith stay out. We see California, Zamaga's Bag of Bones all pit. What will J. Cole do? He's staying out. Fuzz now in a podium position, but depending on how many laps the safety car stays out, I don't know if he'll stay there, because he's got Larkin and Miami, mega quick drivers behind who are on soft tires. Zenith's on older soft tires. This brings J. Cole back up into the points. It means everybody in the field, with the exception of our top 3 runners, is on the soft tires. And all but 3 of those soft runners are on fresh softs. So the drivers up at the front are going to be hoping for a short safety car period. This has just totally spiced up this race. Totally mixed up the order for these final laps. Have at least one more lap. Maybe that would be it. That would leave 4 laps. If the safety car does come in this lap, we'll have laps 33 through 36. I don't know, 4 laps. Larkin could be on for a victory here. If he's able to get those overtakes done. Larkin's car is AI right now, so I don't know if he's... What's happened with him? Maybe he's paused. I'm sure it's happened. It's paused. Got some position swapping. This is a bug that can happen sometimes if someone goes off. Yeah, so Miami's got a time penalty now for ignoring yellow flags, so I'm not quite sure what that's all about. This is a glitch that can happen sometimes with the safety car, which is coming in this lap. So Zwiedema is going to lead the field. Puppet Master and Buzz are top 3 runners so far, all on older, medium, and hard tires. Miami and Larkin will be chomping at the bit on their fresh softs. The tire advantage is going to be massive. Track position advantage is there for the top 3, but time, don't know whose side time is on, but it's going to be an exciting last couple laps. So we'll follow on board with Miami for this first lap green, as Zwiedema just got a fantastic safety car restart, it has to be said. Looks like Larkin and Miami, they were sorting out their positions. Larkin, I believe, was in P4 for most of the safety car period, so Miami, good on him for getting that position swap back, and I'm sure his time penalty will be removed by the stewards after the race. Fuzz just parking his car on the apex, but the traction is never a competition. The fresh soft's always going to win out over the hards. Fuzz may be thinking about trying to battle back, but a lockup, and Fuzz looks like he almost lost on his front wing, but it's 1 position loss from Fuzz. Let's see what Miami's able to do. There's only 3.5 laps left. Puppet Master is still falling back, so Larkin's not able to catch. Zwiedema's still in the lead. Puppet Master, who we thought would be able to just kind of overtake pretty comfortably in these last green, in these last green flag laps, excuse me, now can't, as Fuzz has lost out to Miami. Let's see if he loses out to Zenith. Up at the front, Larkin all over the back of Puppet Master. Zenith is able to get by Fuzz. Now Heron is going to be on the back of that. Larkin not able to get by Puppet Master. He's going to wait into turn 4. Once again, look at the traction there. Despite the dirty air, I'm sure the Red Bulls would be communicating, maybe not, maybe team orders. Having to go up the inside. And now Larkin going to fight for a victory as Zenith gets by Fuzz. Fuzz looked like he might have been battling that lap. Heron right behind, ready to pounce if either of those drivers makes a mistake. Larkin now just 4/10 behind. Maybe Puppet Master thinking he's going to pull him along through here. Only 2 laps left. As RC picks up a time penalty. I don't remember what the time penalties are like for any of those top 3 drivers. I think Miami has a time penalty of 3 seconds, which might just bump him down to P5. But Larkin looks like he's going to be able to get this move done, I imagine. As Miami sets the fastest lap, let's see if he's able to get by Puppet Master, but the pass for the lead has been completed. Larkin going past Zidema. Yellow flag in Sector 1, not sure what that was for, but it is cleared now. Puppet Master still hoping he can get by Zidema, but he has no battery left. And neither does Zidema, but big lockup. These drivers have been battling all race. Miami right on the back now. Larkin looks like he's probably going to be able to take this this race victory pretty comfortably with 1 lap left. Does Puppet Master have anything left in the tank? Doesn't not giving the fuel warning for either of these drivers, so I'd imagine they're both using as much rich as their engine temperatures will allow. Miami all over the back of Puppet Master. He wants his last podium position. He wants to at least solidify himself at P4 and get that time gap to Zenith if he can. He's going to get DRS, but so is Puppet Master. Puppet Master doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to Zidema, and he's going to have Miami going around the outside, braking for turn 3. He's able to get traction. Puppet Master's just falling down the order here. He doesn't have, he has absolutely no battery left. Is Miami going to be able to sneak in and get P2 on track? Zidema going defensive. With a few corners left, he's going to have to send it through one of these corners if he wants to get it. Drivers fighting on the very last lap. Apologies to any missed overtakes down the field, but it is Larkin. After time penalties, Puppet Master does get his podium. Miami is actually going to be dropping further down the field. He must have picked up more time penalties. What a last couple laps there after that safety car. Absolutely incredible. Larkin, race victory today for him. He's starting from P10 or P11, I'm not sure, but absolutely well-deserved driver of the day. Took the risk to pit for the softs at the very end and netted him a race victory. For Zidema and Puppet Master, they were battling all race for P1 and P2. Larkin coming from outside the top 10 to take that race victory. Congratulations, Zidema. Puppet Master, our pole sitter, unfortunately his race was pretty compromised by that second safety car. But he still finishes on the podium, so a good race from him for P3. Fuzz coming home in P4, did a good job pulling off that one stop, took the risk of not pitting under the second safety car, and that worked out well for him. Gained a few positions. Zamoglis P5, good recovery after some first lap drama. Miami P6, California P7, Zenith P8, J. Cole P9, Bag of Bones P10, Heron just finishing outside the points in P11. Then RC, JXW was the first of those DNF drivers. J. Gray, Beck, Adri, and Barton, the other drivers who DNF'd as well. So a very, very exciting race. Austria, you did not disappoint. Congratulations to Red Bull, a double podium. Larkin, a victory outside the top 10. For Zidema and Puppet Master and Fuzz, their risk paid off. Able to keep that track position. Once again, EU tier did not disappoint. Austria did not disappoint. A very exciting race. 2 safety cars. I think 2 VSCs. More overtakes than I can remember in a long time. And yeah, very, very exciting race. So make sure you tune in next week. Same place, same time. For I believe it is going to be Silverstone next week. So very exciting race. Congratulations to all of our podium finishers once again, and we will catch you guys next week.